radio show may be over, but Gun Talk continues now in a more informal setting. Get ready for an on-topic, off-topic, free-for-all featuring our show producer Jim Kinsey, Michelle, and Michael as they join Tom for the Gun Talk After Show. Enjoy.
All right, we're in the after show now. Tom Gresham here, of course, because, well, who else would be doing this silliness? We got Michelle, you're back.
I am back. Thanks for missing me.
Yeah,
he didn't say that.
Miss you.
I'm assuming. Well, I'm filling in the blanks.
just, you did miss me, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Thank you, Michael, for helping me out on that.
At least I didn't get you were gone?
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Oh, man, I need to get back in the witty bandwagon. I'm out of it.
The love.
And Jim is running the show over here. At least we tell him he is, because we know we don't actually need him.
So I'm only halfway there. I'm in the half-wit.
There you go. And I have my little friend. Okay, there we go. Now we're good to go.
Ooh, that was loud.
Ooh,
that was loud. Probably peaked out. That's okay, but it's only a 20 gauge, so it's not going to hurt him.
it's gun-related. It's okay.
It's okay. That's right. We're peeking about guns. There's some Winchester Model 12. There you go.
Sweet.
20 gauge.
Sweet.
Just because. So back in the old days, there was kind of the deal of you were either a Model 12 lover or a Browning semi-auto person, or maybe a Remington 870. That's kind of the way it broke for shotguns. Those were the three real popular ones. And for some reason, the Browning, the one that everybody liked to talk about was the 16 gauge, the Sweet 16. Not sure why that was, but it certainly seemed to be. That was the one that people always wanted. So I tell you what, guys, let's do this. Let's take a call before we get cranked up here, okay?
All righty.
I'll do that.
How about George?
Let's take George. Hey, George, how you doing? OC Shooters. What's up, man?
Thanks a lot for taking me. And, boy, your call screener was so pleasant. It's so nice to have her back, I have to admit.
Michelle, are you paying these guys to say this? This is just wrong.
Yeah, when family calls in, it's always good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Our long-lost cousin that you pay him $50 a week and he calls here. Okay. Okay, George.
Just listen to that laugh. That is all I got to say. Fortunately, on opening day for turkey season in New York, I did take a 21.5-pound turkey. But I used up the last round of shells that I've normally used, and they were unavailable. So I switched to the Winchester Longbeard XR, which is a 3-inch, 1 3/4 number 5 12 gauge, which is what I shoot. And I've got a red dot on. I have a red dot on my shotgun, and I was patterning it. When I had it out at 50 yards, it wasn't totally on the paper, so I couldn't measure it. So I brought it back. I ended up bringing it back at 30 yards to get it really sighted in. And at 30 yards, it was only printing about a 12-inch spread on my shotgun. So, definitely 50-yard material in my gun with my choke. Yeah. And at 50 yards, anything closer than that, actually what I'm doing is I've got a semi-auto. Anything a lot closer than that, I've got a couple of rounds of something when I patterned it. Because I tried 3 different rounds. I patterned another round that was much more open. So if I have something that actually comes in from behind me and is like 10, 15 yards, I'll probably try to switch it out and throw in something that's going to be a lot bigger spread at that distance.
Let me make a suggestion, because if you're trying to change ammo out, and that turkey's within 15 or 20 yards, he's going to hear you monkeying around. I don't think you really want to be doing that.
Yeah, well, you're right, and I'm probably going to just wait and let it go out a little further. That's what I've done in the past. The turkey I shot, normally I limited it to 40 yards and less. The last one I shot was 42 yards, so I was doing decent to start off with. But I'm in a situation where I've got a small area that I hunt on, and I really can't go stalking birds. So I pretty much have to set up and call them in.
Gotcha.
Out of adjacent
Let me ask you a question now. You mentioned that you've got a red dot. You've got a red dot sight on your turkey shotgun, right? So you can sight that in. So you mentioned that this one wasn't shooting exactly totally on the paper at 50, but you can actually just sight in your red dot to make sure that way you can make your hits out at 50.
Oh yeah, and that's I brought it into 30 yards, and I know that it only takes 2 shots to sight in guns and everything, and I know about it and I've tried it and everything. It always takes me much more than that to sight in the gun, but I've got it now where it's maybe an inch off at 30 yards, so it's close enough, and but the real close-in shots, when I aim for the head, there's just not going to be that much left of it, I feel. So
well, that's okay. You don't need the head anyway, so just blow his head off and warm up the oven because you got turkey to bring home. All right, George, listen, I appreciate the call, sir. Good hunting out there. All right, guys, so what we've got there is kind of an example of where we've come with the loads and how people hunt turkeys. They almost are hunting turkeys with shotguns that are kind of like rifles, Michelle. They put a sight on them, and they use these really, really tight chokes, and they're shooting out at crazy distances.
That's exactly the comparison I was going to give you. Is it's like shooting a rifle anymore. They've made advancements just like we've seen with the pistol ammo. They've done the same thing on the shotgun world, and it's incredible what they can do. And personally, I say hats off to George for doing some background work with patterning shotguns, because there's a lot of people that don't do that, and gosh, you can't say how important it is to.
They don't get it.
Yeah, well, and that's very true. Some people do.
Okay, here's the very ugly truth that nobody wants to talk about, because frankly, most of people don't know it. Most shotguns do not shoot to exactly the point of aim, and if you don't go shoot them on paper or a steel pattern board or something, there's no way for you to know where your shotgun shoots. But if you pattern it and you have a scope or a red dot sight or something like that, you can dial it in. And now it is just like a rifle. And I love a red dot sight for turkey, and I think that's a great idea. Just put it on them, now you know it's sighted in. Because you're shooting, man, if he's shooting a turkey at 15 yards, he's shooting a pattern that's probably no more than 6 inches across. It's like hitting them with a softball or something, or grapefruit. You better be on, or you're going to miss.
Coffee cup saucer, yeah. I always have a hard time trying to find the turkeys that have that little thermometer button already in them.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They fly so fast, you can't even...
When you're walking down the frozen food area in Kroger with your shotgun, you're going, yeah, turkey, 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 turkey.
Got me one, honey.
I'm never going shopping with you again.
What grocery store do you go to? We're all in the same area.
That's right. We want to make sure we avoid that one. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Only Jim.
I actually hunted turkeys for a couple of years using over and under shotgun.
That would be
and
fun.
To his point of if it's close or it's far, you can put 2 different chokes in. So you can have your real tight choke for long distances, or you can have in the other barrel a more open choke for a close-up shot. And you can just switch which barrel you're shooting with the barrel selector on the gun.
The things we learn here on the After Show.
Clever.
Yeah.
We need to get a double-barreled shotgun in Jim's hand.
I'd love to shoot one of
Something new.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
Have you not shot any either over and under or double barrel?
No, I haven't, no.
No.
I just shot my first 16 gauge the other day, actually. I own a 12 gauge, but that's all I've ever owned.
How did you come to shoot a 16? What's the story there?
Well, actually, we had a bunch of people over here at Jim's place. Well, he had a bunch of people. I just kind of showed up, and, we were...
As you tend to do. Oh, he found out you were having a party and you had not invited him again?
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, and I'm hungry all the time, so I came by to get some food. And, but yeah, one of the folks that had come by brought one, and asked me to, because it had a hunting plug in it. Asked me to remove the hunting plug, and it's very similar to the Remington I've got, so it was no problem taking it apart. But then I asked to shoot it. He said, yeah, I really liked it. It was cool. Real long gun. I think it probably had like a 20-inch barrel on it, maybe a little longer.
Probably longer than that. The 16 gauge is kind of, there's a reason they call it the Sweet 16.
Oh, you stole my words.
I'm sorry. Michelle, tell me about the 16 gauge, would you please?
Well, no, when Michael was talking about it, that's going to be like, sweet 16. Sorry.
Got to be quick around here.
No, you know what? I think it is a gun that's probably underrated, as Michael just found out. It is just an awesome caliber to shoot. There's not much recoil.
No.
The ammunition, it's a little pricey, but anymore, the ammunition prices are totally gone from what we think of in the past.
Look at what it costs to go to a movie.
Well,
that's true,
exactly,
too.
Yeah. Right. Gas, milk, all of that. It's all gone.
All right. If you want to have fun, go to the website 16ga.com for 16 gauge. It's the 16 Gauge Society.
Cool.
Is that cool or what? And they've got like all the stuff about 16 gauges, the cartridges, hand loading, different guns, the history of it. And they got a forum there. You can ask questions about 16s, who's making them. And when somebody does and sometimes these manufacturers will do a short run of 16 gauges that you never hear about it. But you could hear about it here if you said, oh, that would be cool. I would kind of like to have one. Here's your place, 16ga.com. Yeah, 16s are nice. I had a buddy, I shot the 20 gauge, and he had the Browning Sweet 16. And it dates us for sure, but I mean, we would walk from our houses down the street with our shotguns over our shoulders, with the cars driving past, and we're probably 12. Because we're going to walk over to his house, and then we're going to walk out behind his house and just go hunting as we walk straight out from his house. So, I mean, here's these two kids walking down the street with the cars. I mean, this is not a rural area. This is, in a small town. We're talking 15,000 person town. And we're not talking gun cases. We're just talking guns. Either on our bicycles or just walking. Either way. Fun stuff, man.
Totally different world today.
Oh, no, I'm sure you could do the same thing today. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
It's just crazy silence on their end. I'm sorry, what did you just say?
What's in that coffee?
I heard that. Yeah, really, Browning owns the term Sweet 16, says recently they produced a limited run of 1,000 of their Satori over and unders in 16 gauge. I'm looking on, now I'm cruising the whole website, the 16ga.com. I'm trying to think if I own a 16 gauge. I have one. No, I have to take that back. I have two 16 gauges. Both of them are side by sides, as it works out. Kind of interesting.
What about the 28 gauge? You're a big shotgun person.
Oh, you dog! I love the 28 gauge. I love it, love it, love it. Yeah. I just, the ammo has cost more than 12 gauge, which is crazy.
Have you seen the guy snag the quail with his hand? Have you seen that video? Guy's out in the field and somebody flushes a quail and it flies right at him. He just reaches up and catches it with his hand.
Just out of reflex.
Yeah,
right?
Great.
It's like that guy that just caught the baseball in the stands while he had his baby strapped to his chest.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. Unless, of course, the ball hits the baby, but who worries about that? I got the ball, man. It's okay.
Yeah, the ticket's got a disclaimer on the back. He's all right.
So at least the team's off the hook, right?
Right. Hey, speaking of cool stuff, guess what I got yesterday?
What'd you get?
I received in the mail from the Sacramento Gun Club. They have a T-shirt that they just released, and their slogan is Sacramento Gun Club, Ready, Aim, Live. I just thought that was so cool.
I like it. And how'd you find that?
My buddy lives out in Sacramento, and he sends me T-shirts and silly stuff all the time. And he says, "I saw this, and I thought of you. You had to have it."
Of course.
So I told him I'd give him a little plug, which I just did.
Which you just did,
The
as a matter
Sacramento
of
Gun
fact.
Club, Ready, Aim, Live. You bet.
I like that. So how do you guys feel about wearing gun-related clothing when you're out and about? Do you do it? Do you avoid it? Do you, what's
I
your
used
position?
to. I stopped.
Yeah?
Yeah, if I was planning on going out to the range or something that day, maybe I'd wear my Glock or my NRA hat or something like that. But it got to the point where I didn't like drawing attention to myself. I don't need a conversation starter if I'm out in public buying groceries or something. So I just stopped.
It's
Of course,
unfortunate.
now the other way to go is to do it and say, I'm going to invite the conversation because I'm a good spokesman for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, true. True. But you know me, I have no appreciable personality, so it's
Well, yeah, we have said that about you, Michael, so there's that, of course.
The good thing is you can say it right, too, is you don't have to wait till he leaves. You can just say it right to him.
That's true. Yeah. Well, what fun is that if we can't talk behind your back, man? I mean, really. Jeez. Oh, if you guys are interested in 16 gauges, do not go to Brian Belinsky's website, fieldsportltd.com.
I've been in a store, and that hurts.
Oh, that's right. You've been to the store. That's right.
$50,000 shotguns there. Obviously not all of them, but he's got everything from $500 guns to $50,000 I saw. And probably
isn't
higher.
it a gorgeous store? Aren't they cool? The people there are so nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're like, talk about ambassadors to the sport. I mean, geez. And they knew we weren't buyers. They knew we were just tourists, and I had to stop by. You don't go to Traverse City and not go there. So
right. Traverse City, Michigan, the store is Field Sport. And, yes, you can go to the website, fieldsportltd.com. But I'm just looking at, they got a number of 12 gauges. And, here's your, just for you, Michelle, a 28 gauge. It's a nice little Purdy and Sons. Only $65,000.
Oh, so you'll float me like 6,400 somewhere?
40,000.
I think we're going to have to do a timeshare on this one.
She's going to start screening 2 days a week.
I want a week every third year on this one. That's what I could afford.
Wow. I bet it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It better do your dishes. It better drive your car for you.
You're guaranteed to win the match. Just show up.
Yeah.
Well, there is something to be said for this, because at that price level, you can actually just look at it and it doesn't matter, because I don't care how beautiful it is. There's just no way. It's not going to happen. So you go, oh, sure, I'll look at that one.
I would never be able to fire something like that.
I was just going to ask, would you shoot it?
No.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I'd run out to the range.
I'd probably talk to it and pet it and, that kind of money.
Since you're not going to have a place to live.
Right.
A little shrine on the curb.
I can buy a gun, or I could buy a house. Okay.
Let me see. Feed the kids or buy another gun.
But he does have some others that are, considerably less. There's one for $995. So, that's quite the range, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Awesome.
And when you think about it, for things that basically do the same thing.
Toss lead.
This is bad. It's just bad. He's got a thing you click on for left-handed shotguns.
Somebody quick, turn off his computer.
Would you guys just go ahead and talk? I'm gun shopping now, okay? Oh, man.
Y'all talk amongst yourself. I'm busy.
That's right. Talk amongst you. I got to tell you. You know our Slip 2000 stuff we get in, guys?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We're out at the range in Cristerino, and we're just running through lots of different guns and trying them. And we've got some a 9mm pistol and a 22 pistol, both with threaded barrels. And we're putting suppressors on them, and the 9 just won't run. I mean, we're trying it, and it just won't run. Because you got a lot of weight just sticking out there, and it's changing the geometry and all of this. And we're going, oh, man. And I said, that gun feels a little dry. Because, it's brand new. We just took it out of the box. So I pulled out that, EWL from Slip 2000. Mm-hmm. We took the slide off. We lubed it up a good bit, put it back on there, ran like a top. That was cool.
It's great stuff. I gave some to my dad. He'd never seen it before, and he called me like 2 hours later. He's like, I can clean my guns the day I shoot now. This isn't bad at all.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, is that instead of waiting and giving them all to you so you can clean them for
either
him?
that or, just to have to listen to him be and moan about it, sure, it is an escape. Go out to the garage, clean the guns. Nobody sees you for a few hours, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, now I don't know exactly what's going on, but when you really lube a gun up and you have a suppressor on it, the first several shots, it smokes like a wood stove.
Oh, I bet.
There's just smoke. And we're shooting video of this in slow motion, of course.
Oh, cool.
So this is going to be so cool. We just have to tell people, no, these guns don't actually smoke all the time like that. Only when you lube them up a bunch.
When you do your voiceovers now, do you do those in slow-mo too? We'll be right back.
Yeah, we have found that, how do I say this nicely? As with a lot of sensory things, slow motion on guns is really cool too. So the slow motion of guns firing is just, you get to see things that you don't normally see.
Flexing.
Just the hammer dropping and the slides coming back and the way the shell, your cartridges feed up, and the way the empty hulls come spiraling out, flip. It's just, slow motion stuff is neat. So we're shooting a lot more slow motion video of guns now for TV shows.
Well, and I think if you can do it on the personal training side, it's an excellent learning tool as well.
Well, yeah, especially for somebody that's never shot a gun before, doesn't know anything about how they operate.
Well, even as you would be in the individual shooting, if you can slow down and watch your movement, you can critique yourself.
Sure.
Obviously with dry firing does the same thing, but definitely with that slow fire.
It does, but it doesn't, because we do things differently dry firing than we do live firing.
It's true.
Because we anticipate the recoil, we kind of jerk. Well, you know that with the iPhones now, you can shoot at 120 or I think 240 frames a second slow motion.
Yep.
And that's really good slow motion.
Yeah,
So you could do your critiquing, your analysis just using your phone video. Man, that is like science fiction stuff these days.
Yep. Dick Tracy, remember?
Because 10 years ago, to get that kind of video, you would have needed a $100,000 camera.
It's just amazing how far they've come with that.
Now your phone does it.
Yep. And they're getting better every year.
Well, they are. We went to the Apple store yesterday.
Oh.
Did you get
We're
your
in the
watch?
mall. Of course, I looked briefly at the watch. I'm not ready for the watch, or it's not ready for me. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure I get it.
You know, here's the thing. From whatever I've been reading and from people, they're pretty fragile. I don't know, especially if you do a lot of shooting, if you'd want something that expensive on your wrist going,
Right.
Yeah. Just
And
me.
the watch I'm wearing now, I have worn continuously since 1969.
Stop it.
Yes.
Wow.
Same watch. Got this for high school graduation, and it's like the fourth band. I've beaten the bands off of it. It's kind of beat up, but yeah, I need a rugged watch because I'm hard on them. Every time I try to wear something else, I end up killing it, and I go back to this one.
It gives credibility to they don't make them like they used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? So, but it doesn't. I had a guy the other day says, "How old is that watch?" I go, yeah, it's pretty beat up. I know, but it just keeps on ticking. So John Cameron Swayze would be happy.
Oh, yeah. Remember him? That's Patrick
Takes a licking
Swayze's
and
dad,
keeps
wasn't
on
it?
ticking.
Was that Patrick Swayze's dad, wasn't it? Or granddad?
Michael and I were looking at each other like, who?
I am not.
Oh, come on. I'm John Cameron Swayze here for Timex. I'm
Sorry.
sitting here on
Oh,
top of the Eiffel Tower with,
Well, they would do crazy things with Timexes. I remember one, they strapped it onto the propeller of an outboard motor and then ran it and then took it off, and it takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had an old original digital Timex that kept better time than anything I've owned since. So there's that.
Now, think about all these technology things we're talking about, right? And how cool everything is and how everything's advanced. Now, look at our guns. A bolt-action rifle is essentially unchanged from 1898 when Paul Mauser brought out the bolt-action rifle.
Yeah.
The double-barrel shotgun is essentially unchanged since the mid to early 1800s. And semi-auto handguns are essentially unchanged for 75 years, 100 years. Well, 1911, come on.
Would you say that the biggest thing in handguns was the striker-fired, or the invention of striker-fired pistols, or would you say that...
Probably so. Probably the striker-fired mechanism.
So because that wasn't very long ago. I mean, that was
change.
Gaston Glock, right, in 86? Was it 86?
Yeah, it's mid-'80s. Yeah.
Now you got a stumper, because now here's the question. Was Glock the first striker-fired gun?
First polymer, I know that.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, though. I know he used to fire him with his
not.
left hand because he didn't want it to blow up while he was testing them.
Well, there's a vote of confidence for you. And then with his right hand, he would put his finger in one ear,
I alternate blocking my ears. That way I only have half the hearing damage.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Speaking of damage control, we should probably
yes.
take a quick break and come back.
Okay,
We're
let's
overdue.
do that. We'll be back momentarily.
The Ruger LC9S, a striker-fired version of the award-winning Ruger LC9 pistol, has a short, light, crisp trigger pull for faster, more accurate shooting. It's just slightly larger than the incredibly compact LCP and provides personal protection in a slim, lightweight, concealable handgun. It also fits all existing LC9 accessories, including lasers, holsters, and extended 9-round magazine. The Ruger LC9S, another rugged, reliable firearm from Ruger.
All right, we're still back, or we're back again. Who knows? Did we ever actually go anywhere? That's the question. Is it? No. Okay. So we're still here.
Yep.
All right. Very good. By the way, just kind of a closed circuit to our friends who listen to the podcast, do us a favor, share with your buddies, because some of the people who listen to Gun Talk as it's broadcast on our wonderful radio stations don't know about the podcast. So shoot them an email and let them know about it and kind of spread the word. And, of course, if you'd like, you can always call us and be on the podcast, because that's fun stuff, too. Okay, check that box off. Oh, did you guys hear me talking about the Blade Show, Knife Rights Breakfast? They're going to have Sheriff Clark. You guys know what I'm talking about with Sheriff Clark?
I don't know Sheriff Clark per se, but I know the knife rights movement.
Okay, Sheriff David Clark. I don't know if you're a Fox News guy, but Sheriff David A. Clark, he is a black sheriff in Milwaukee County, Wisconsin, and he's being interviewed a lot these days because he speaks out on Second Amendment rights a lot. He's done a lot for NRA. He's been on National Public Radio, been a lot of different places, very conservative. This is a chance. I mean, he's really sharp. And for anybody who's in the Atlanta area around June 6th is when this is. He's, he's like a 20-year or more experienced law enforcement officer. So whenever they're having like these police shootings and all, they interview Sheriff Clark. So he's become not just a Second Amendment guy, but he's become a spokesman for law enforcement, for, effective policing, for everything else. But the fact that he's a go-to guy for the media, and he's also conservative and a strong Second Amendment proponent, is terrific for us, for our movement, if you will, and the ability to go to a cool breakfast. My guess is probably going to be between 100 and 200 people there.
Wow.
I mean, it's a small, little, fun little group.
Yeah.
Very accessible. You get a chance. So anybody that wants to take advantage of that.
Is this the guy that's been giving Obama a bunch of stuff?
Oh,
really riding the rails on this guy? Yeah, I think I know
you got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he would be a great speaker. I'm looking now. Oh, gosh, the tickets are only $35. That's a steal.
Wow.
Road trip.
Road trip. kniferights.org will get you there. Or let's see, they have a phone number called 866-889-6268. There you go. June 6th in Atlanta. And besides, if you're there, you're going to go to the Blade Show, which is like, wow. I mean, cool. You guys, everybody likes cool knives.
Oh, yeah.
And they've got knives there that you just can't believe they're so gorgeous. So that would be a fun deal. It would be a fun trip to make sometime.
It's like going to...
One of these days, I'm going to make it to the Blade Show. I'm not going to make it this year, but one of these days, I'm going to get there.
So that'd be like perusing the 16 Gauge Society webpage.
While you're working.
That is work. Why do you think this job has been called the ultimate scam? It's been called that by me.
You get paid for what?
I get to go look at the 16 Gauge website, and people go, the what?
He's
yes.
You are merely advancing our economy by encouraging people to spend their money.
Yes.
And your point is you're going somewhere with this, right?
No. Yeah, it's just he's doing an important job. He's facilitating the economy.
Well, I've told you about my friend Bill. He says any of us actually make money. We just deflect money.
It's true.
It comes in and we bounce it off and send it to somebody else. It comes from another direction. We bounce it off and send it to somebody else.
It's got a point.
So that's all we really do.
Hey, we had a cool thing happen this week with Michelle and I.
What's that?
We had a mutual friend that we didn't know about, kind of crossed paths. We had a ladies' range day last week, and Mike and I dressed up like ladies. It was kind of neat.
It was kind of scary.
No, we had
pictures, or it didn't happen.
Yeah, we had four.
I'll send them to you.
4 instructors here teaching some ladies how to shoot. Both people had never shot before, as well as some novices that had shot once, maybe. And there's a local news guy, talk radio host, Fred, who's he's not anti-gun. He's pro-gun and he's pro-defense. He's just never shot. So you'll hear him on the show talking about, I think people have every right to protect themselves. So I called him up and said, you're really pro-gun, whether you realize it or not, but you've never shot. Well, no, I haven't. I said, we got to fix it. So I've been on him for 6 months, and I call him and invite him. Well, he finally accepted the invite.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
I was on the guy for 5 years before that trying to get him to come to the range, so it's not like we haven't tried.
Yeah. So he finally he caved, so to speak. He probably just got tired of us. I'll just shut those guys up and go. Jeez.
Right.
So he was interested, and he did great. I mean, he was a sponge. Everything we taught him, he caught on and applied. It was great. But the funny part was actually, Michelle, I'll have you tell the story because I just like your voice, Michelle.
Oh, what part am I sharing? No, he had come into our store looking to buy ammunition, and I happened to be the person that was at the counter at the time, and he said that he was looking for some 22s and some 9mm, and that he was going to go and do some training. And Jim had asked me if I was available to come to their little ladies' range day, and unfortunately I was not because I had to work. And when he said that he was doing some training, I said, "Oh, where are you training at?" Because he said, whatever ammunition I don't use, I'll just leave with the host. So, one, I was thinking, yes, I could get Jim some ammo. No, I did not. No, I didn't. I asked him, I said, "Where are you training?" And he said, "Jim." I said, "Oh, my goodness, with Kenzie." I said, "I'm Michelle." And he's like, "Oh, my gosh, it's so nice to meet you." So he was just so excited to be able to meet this side of the crew and to come out and share some time with Jim. And he had 2 ladies with him, I assume a daughter and a girlfriend or a wife or whatever it might have been. And they were all just super excited to get here and take in whatever Jim could teach them.
It's kind of, you sit there as a bystander, somebody maybe that's watching, and I got kind of jealous because that newness is gone for me,
But isn't it exciting to watch that happen?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, as a coach.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, my goodness.
Especially when you get somebody that's so intent on learning, I mean, everything you said, like he said, it just soaked him up like a sponge. You just, well, what does that mean? Well, how does that work? It was cool.
I don't think I've ever had another student catch on that quick. And I told him, "Hey, you're a quick study," and I think maybe he just thought I was stroking him or whatever. But he was.
Well,
his
stance,
his grip, everything.
Radio talk show hosts are really, really smart.
Thank you.
Yes, we know.
And we can't ride on those shirt tails and try to pull off the after show.
Well, I was just going to say, look who he's hired. It's obviously intelligence.
Sweet.
I think you just got fired.
My goodness.
Oh, no, he's blushing on the other side. I can see it.
That's just way too much. Well, what you guys did, it's this, you may have heard the line before. It's quoted or credited to Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "You must be the change you want to see in the world." In other words, don't push for change and don't lobby for change. Be the change.
Don't talk about it, do it.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Okay.
That slipped out.
I'm sorry.
It's this glove.
More
It's the
meds, please.
Back to Tom being intelligent with who he hired.
Okay, so not always. Nobody bets 1,000.
We all make mistakes. You're forgiven.
Look, if you bat 666, you're doing great here. And so, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I think there's now he's going to go with that song. So there you go.
I'm going to get a GUNTALK logo glove to wear in the one hand.
Yeah, with the sequins on it.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Well, I think what the important message there is the fact that...
Is there a message anywhere?
Yeah.
Is there a message anywhere in our future?
I'm going to make one up here.
Go for it.
But I think truly what happened was you just happened to hit Fred at the right time. Mm-hmm. He had the time. He was open to it. It's something that he's probably been thinking about. And, you've talked about this so many times, Tom. Just stay persistent. Just keep offering, keep offering, keep offering. Because eventually somebody will come to it on their own,
or you'll get a
in their
stalking
own
charge.
Mind. Well, yeah, or there is that.
Threaten me.
But eventually they'll come around, and that intimidation factor will go away. And
you just keep offering in a friendly way. There are 2 things I would say that really help people get out there. It's 1, just being friendly, and 2, stressing the safety aspect. Yep. We're safe out there. We really push safety. Everything we're going to do it safely. Just hit it over and over again. And you're right, Michelle. I mean, it may not be that they turned you down because they didn't want to go. It was the wrong time. They were in the wrong frame of mind. It didn't fit their schedule. But you just say, hey, we'll try it again. We'll do it. Hey, how about now? Could you want to come out? We're going to, or throw something else out. Hey, we're going to have our barbecue out there. Come out to our barbecue. We're going to do a little shooting before the barbecue, before the adult beverages get opened. And then a point to make is because we don't let anybody drink before we shoot because that's a safety issue. Oh, okay, good.
Right.
Well, you're just hitting it again. Well, unless it's Jim, of course.
No, I mean,
No.
even
what a heavy drinker he is.
I stress in my little marketing campaign, I stress that we have a breathalyzer here, and if we suspect anybody, we're going to have them test, and if you're offended, don't come, and that's okay.
Now, I want people to understand, you're not kidding about that,
I'm
are
not
you?
kidding at all. No. I mean...
No, you do actually have a breathalyzer.
Yeah, and I kind of stole your line, and I use it a lot. And I tell people, come on out, we'll have a good, safe time. The fun part will just happen. We want to focus on safety, and the fun stuff is just automatic. You don't have to worry about that.
That comes with it. That comes along for the ride.
Yep.
Exactly right. We're just going to have a good time. If you set it up right.
Well, and the best part is he brought 2 women to the field that probably would have never tried it in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So it advanced it even more so with the knowledge that they have. They won't be afraid to share that with any other person either.
Right, and they started with 22. They started with Jazzy's 22 Smith, and once they had the form down, we went through probably 4 or 5 mags apiece, and then we stepped them up to 9. I didn't have anything more intermediate to use, so we went to 9, and we just stayed there.
That's a good step. That's nothing wrong with that.
It was fine, and it was a little bit much for her, for the lady, but she finished the mag. She said, thank you very much. And then she wrote me later. She goes, I know I was shaky and nervous and stuff. And you're a good host. You had great instructors there. Thank you. And I will try it again. And that meant more to me than anything.
Wow.
And she said, I know I didn't hit many things. I'm like, I wasn't looking. I was looking where your muzzle was. And that's...
I'm looking. I'm checking the muzzle. I'm on you all the time.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I don't care.
So
and what you have done, you have reached out, you have touched somebody in the media in a very positive way. And now when he is talking about this, he's no longer talking about those people who shoot. He's talking about us.
Yep.
Because he's one of us now.
Yeah, it gives him a
Good
little
job,
bit.
Jim.
We have assimilated him. No, it's a great job.
No,
That's
it-
a
It
great
was all
job.
of us.
And
It wasn't me. It was all of us. We all chipped in together.
but that's what
Good for you guys.
That's what everyone has to do. Truly, it's knowledge is the safety component, and
Right.
if you can teach more people how safe and fun it is, like you say, the fun just happens. Man, we're secure. We could be secure.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does make the problem go away if people go, well, no, shooting is fun and it's safe. And anybody that's not safe they're the outliers. They're the weirdos. And we already have laws to take care of that. We don't need to restrict the good people because of what the outliers do.
Right. And
So,
I think the other thing, too, is you can invite people over and over. But I've told you this before, Tom. We've had cold calls. People I met at the grocery store. Started talking to them. Hey, why don't you and your son come out and shoot? But there's people that are just, they've never experienced guns, so they're in a defensive position right away when you mention it. So I try to avoid using the word gun. I tend to say firearm or target plinking or something to avoid shooting and gun. I try to avoid those words. But what I'm finding out, and it's kind of common sense, I kind of knew it, is a lot of times people, they'll do pretty much whatever you want them to do once they get to know you. So they say, hey, this Joe Blow, he's not such a bad schmuck, and he's one of those gun guys. So maybe they're not all bad. They wouldn't necessarily bite on the shooting aspect right away, but once they get to know you as a human being, say, yeah, he's a pretty decent guy. He's good family, da-da-da-da-da. And now they're more likely to listen to something about guns and shooting than they would have been had they just walked up and tried to pressure him and go to the range with us.
You've just described the modus operandi of why Gun Talk Radio got started. Because my goal 20 years ago was for whoever's riding down the road and hitting the scan button on the radio, back when we had AM and FM, was for them to hear us talking and saying, those guys don't sound crazy. They sound just like us, like they're having fun, and it might actually be fun to shoot. And my whole thing, honest to Pete, back then was, that's all I'm looking for. It was missionary work for me. I just want people to hear how normal, natural, regular, safe, fun-loving people we are. And if they liked us, then they would be okay with what we do, and they may even at some point want to join us. That was it.
Yep.
So it works on the individual basis. And just a huge attaboy for you guys getting somebody from the media out when I guess we pass this along to everybody. You want to be the change. Get somebody from the media out, or get somebody from your neighborhood out, or get somebody from the school where your kids go to go out with you. Invite somebody. I go back to that thing, and you guys have heard me say it. Was it the NSSF did the survey, and they said that half the women surveyed said that if somebody would ask them, they would go shooting. So,
well, you know what?
There it is.
It's like anything else, too. It's well, I'm a big muscle car fan. My wife and I go to all the shows every weekend, and I'm shining my wheels up every night in the driveway. You know, it's like shooting is like that. If you want to bring other people into it, like boating or anything else, if you really like it, you want to bring people into it.
Well, it's amazing on the public side of things because, of course, we have an indoor range, how much shooting has changed to become a date night event when it used to be men only.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Talk to me. What's going on here?
Well, people come in frequently, and it is a date night. Of course, we're open, depending on the time of year, either 6 or 7 days a week, and it's phenomenal, the amount of men and women, whether it's women bringing in their men or, vice versa. But we get a lot of people that come in, and it's part of their date night. They go to dinner.
Have you thought about advertising a date night?
No.
That might be kind of cool. Couples night or
a little light bulb just went off.
I'll need a billing
See how
address.
we work this out? Yeah, okay.
That's right. A regular invoice, okay.
But truly, it is amazing. And it actually has incorporated lots of families. There's been several families that have brought in their younger children, and they call and, what are your rules? Like, no, we need them. We need the kids to get involved. We need the moms to get involved. We strongly encourage it. Obviously, safety is a big issue. We make sure you're safe, and then have fun. Please have fun. And it's incredible.
I did not know this shooting had become a date night thing. That's pretty neat.
He's going to run with this, Next week we'll be interviewing somebody that met at the range. And
Sweet.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. Ballistic Sweethearts. There you go.
But no, I think we need to keep on the road of an invitation.
I'm ballistically codependent.
New T-shirt.
Does that mean you like double barrels? I'm not understanding. This is kind of a weird thing here. So
it's a BC.
That's great.
GUNTALK.
All right. Well, look, you guys carry on. You're doing good work out there. I mean, up until the time you get to the studio, that's a whole different.
Right. Sure. All bets are off then.
Okay. Yeah, no kidding, man. All righty. Well, let's see. I'm heading to Missouri. We're going to the Bianchi Cup this week, and so we'll be hanging out with Chris Reno and Rob Latham and Doug Koenig and all these top shooters, and we'll be doing some TV over there. So
sweet.
Been fun stuff. And we'll be doing this again next week because nobody can stop us.
Be good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Bye, Tom.